Royal Knights is the title given to an alliance of 13 powerful Holy Knight Digimon that are the digital world's sacred guardians, and are famed among Digimon as guardian deities of the computer network. They were gathered by Yggdrasil in order to manage the world and boast absolute power within the digital world. Because the Royal Knights are assigned the highest rank of network security, it is absolutely impossible to violate security in their presence. Their existence was revealed when a Megamon was born, and with Alphamon, they became a group that would have 13 members. The final member acquired its title through frequent rigorous training at the direction of Gankamon, its sponsor. It was originally a Huckmon in which Gankamon saw promise, and as he traveled the digital world alongside the Sistermon sisters, intervening in the world's incessant conflicts, he was tempered well by frequent rigorous trials, eventually evolving through child to ultimate, as the 13th Royal Knight, Jesmon. Although all 13 Royal Knights are currently assembled, there are members like Alphamon who rarely make an appearance, and usually they never gather in their entirety at one time. Each of the Royal Knights possesses a personal dogma that they believe in, and some of them follow Yggdrasil with absolute loyalty, others show gratitude to those they have chosen as their masters, others have engaged in a teacher-disciple relationship, and others only seek unparalleled power. Among the Royal Knights, Denazmon is a unique being, as he serves the Lord who embodied his own sense of justice with deep, unquestioning loyalty. And so, each one carry on their own missions following their own sense of justice that they have decided upon, with Craniumon competing with the other Royal Knights for the top 2 mission completion rates for Yggdrasil's orders. Based on their own ways of thinking, they can work together to protect the digital world and solve problems from various places. Sometimes they cooperate, sometimes they conflict. Even so, Deathmon is acknowledged even by the other Royal Knights as their foremost strategist. With the notable exceptions of Gankamon and Jesmon, the Royal Knights rarely intervene with the digital world, and tend to work alone when they do show their face, usually, Jesmon being the first that appears to face any threat to the world. However, based on a certain prophecy handed down from the ancient digital world, it is said that the Royal Knights will assemble at the time of the digital world's greatest crisis. While most of the Royal Knights are human Digimon, there are a few members with bestial forms. Also, some of the Royal Knights are the rulers of other Digimon species, or associate with a team of subordinates. The Royal Knights are also allies of the 3 Great Angels. Among the Royal Knights, Ulfrasvi Draymon is the fastest, while Denazmon X is considered the most skilled when it comes to aerial combat. Alphamon is the Royal Knight assigned to the place called the Empty Seat, and his role is to serve as a deterrent force for the other Royal Knights. The Royal Knights are famous among the Digimon, with Digimon such as Amekamon assuming the identity of one of them, and Dracumon wanting to play some kind of trick on them. King Edamon even incited Prince Mamamon to believe the Royal Knights are their subordinates. At the start of the planned Project Arc in the digital world, in 2003, under the direction of Yggdrasil, they were given the mission to delete the unwanted Digimon. It seems that because of Yggdrasil's will, the Royal Knights will eventually cross servers to the digital world. Iliad server and meet the Olympos 12, who possess abilities that rival those of the Royal Knights, and usually the Knights have not felt the need to personally interfere in Iliad's affairs. Whether the Royal Knights and the Olympos 12 end up engaging in war or forming an alliance, remains to be seen. The ancient Holy Knight Imperialdomon. Paladin Moat is considered to be the founder of the Royal Knights by its members, because of his role of protecting the ancient digital world from an unprecedented crisis in the ancient past. Alphamon is an ultimate level Holy Knight type that has the vaccine attribute. It belongs to Virus Buster Field, and is a member and absent leader of the Royal Knights group. It is one of the few natural carriers of the X antibody. The name comes from I am the Alpha and the Omega, alongside Omegamon. Alphamon. One of the Holy Knight type Royal Knights, the highest rank of network security, which is said to have 13 members. While it is a Holy Knight, it is said that to the Holy Knights, it is a being similar to a deterrent force, and as it doesn't appear in normal times, it is also called the Aloof Hermit, who flutters a blue mantle, and is the Royal Knight, assigned to the place called the Empty Seat. Because it possesses the Alpha Inversibility, an ultimate force which, in battle, instantaneously replays the elapsed battle. Although Alphamon's attacks are over in just an instant, you can't grasp how many attacks it actually unleashed, and in theory, you can only see the final blow that brought down its opponent. It can deploy a magic circle of Digimoji from its hands, which attacks and defends. Its special moves are drawing out a convergence of light that was pierced into the center of a magic ray, and stabbing it through the opponent, seeking Grid Alpha, and spreading the wings on its back and flying up high, then deploying a magic circle even larger than the sky, with which it summons a legendary monster from another dimension, Digital Eyes of Soul. Alphamon or Yukin. Other form of Alphamon that is still considered as a member of the Royal Knight. Alphamon or Yukin is an ultimate level Holy Knight type that has the vaccine attribute. It belongs to Virus Buster Field, and is a member of the Royal Knights group. Likewise, it is one of the few natural carriers of the X antibody. The name comes from I am the Alpha and the Omega, and Oyukin, literally Aryu sword, comes from Oyuman. Alphamon Oyukin. a form in which Ryumen achieved a miraculous evolution and became a sword through the operation of the magic circle of Digimoji that Alphaman unleashed. Ryumen is the ultimate of the experimental prototype Digimon that pursued further fighting strength, and by becoming a sword, all of that fighting strength was devoted exclusively to his attacks. To swing the Ryuken is to wield all of the power contained within an ultimate Digimon, so to speak, so it isn't a sword that can be swung by an average Digimon, and there aren't any average Digimon that can take the blow. Megaman is an ultimate level Holy Knight type that has the vaccine attribute. It belongs to Virus Buster Field, and is a member of the Royal Knights group, assuming the leadership role in the absence of Alphaman. The name comes from I am the Alpha and the Omega, alongside Alphaman, a Megaman. A Holy Knight Digimon born from the fusion of the Virus Busters Wargreymon and Metalgururman, due to the powerful wills of everyone who wished for good, and who is one of the Royal Knights. As a Digimon that combines the special qualities of the two, it is a multi-type warrior capable of fully demonstrating those abilities in any given situation. It is equipped with a sword and shield on its Wargreymon-shaped left arm, and a cannon and missiles on its Metalgururman-shaped right arm. The cape on its back is automatically deployed when dodging an opponent's attack, or when it is flying. His special move is freezing the opponent with frigid absolute zero shots which it fires from the Metalgururman-shaped cannon, Gururu Cannon. Also, its left arm is equipped with the invincible blade, Grace Sword. Other form of a Megaman that is still considered as a member of the Royal Knight. A Megaman X. The effect on a Megaman's Digicur due to the X antibody. Theoretically, it is impossible for other Digimon to defeat a Megaman. This is due to its acquisition of the Omega Inverse, an ultimate force which, in battle, is able to instantaneously read ahead and respond accordingly. It is an ability that draws out and raises a Megaman's combat sense and potential to their utmost limits in all situations. Also, in battles concerning network security which it cannot afford to lose, it invokes a special move All Delete from its Grace Sword. Anything that comes in contact with the edges of the Grace Sword, while All Delete is invoked, are not cut, but erased. Other form of a Megaman that is still considered as a member of the Royal Knight. A Megaman's Horde is an ultimate level Holy Knight type that has the vaccine attribute. It belongs to Virus Buster Field, and is a member of the Royal Knights group. The name comes from I am the Alpha and the Omega, and Sword, literally black in Dutch. A Megaman's Horde. A Holy Knight Digimon born from the fusion of the Virus Busters Wargreymon and Metalgururman, due to the powerful wills of everyone who wished for good, and who is one of the Royal Knights. As a Digimon that combines the special qualities of the two, it is a multi-type warrior capable of fully demonstrating those abilities in any given situation. In recent years, it has been confirmed that if the secretion Black Digitron, which completely blackens one's figure, is mixed in with someone in some form or other, they will temporarily take on a black appearance, and during that time, their power will increase. It is equipped with a sword and shield on its Wargreymon-shaped left arm, and a cannon and missiles on its Metalgururman-shaped right arm. The cape on its back is automatically deployed when dodging an opponent's attack, or when it is flying. His special move is freezing the opponent with frigid absolute zero shots which it fires from the Metalgururman-shaped cannon, Gururu Cannon. Also, its left arm is equipped with the invincible blade, Grace Sword. Craniumen is an ultimate level Holy Knight type that has the vaccine attribute. It belongs to Virus Buster Field, and is a member of the Royal Knights group. The name derived from cranium or cranial, of the skull, the part enclosing the brain. Craniumen. The Digimon which best understood decorum among the Royal Knights. It is a perfectionist, and competes with the other Royal Knights Digimon, for the top 2 mission completion rates for Yggdrasil's orders. When fighting with an opponent, its policy is always to defeat it with one-on-one combat, and if the opponent is a formidable enemy, its delight is supreme. Craniumen's armor had its code modified by Yggdrasil, and was changed into Black Digizord. It has become possible for it to generate a weapon and shield from its armor, by accessing its data. His special move is firing a sonic wave at supersonic speeds by rapidly spinning its magic spear, Claim Solace, and Waltz. Those who suffer this technique continue to dance, until all of their data is pulverized by the shockwave. Also, when it invokes its God Bless, its magic shield, Avalon defends in every direction with an impregnable wall, and it is able to negate any attack for just 3 seconds. Other form of Craniumen that is still considered as a member of the Royal Knight. Craniumen X. The effect on Craniumen's Digicur due to the X antibody. The Black Digizoid covering its whole body has become even sturdier, such that regular attacks inflict damage back upon the attacker, rather than injuring Craniumen itself. Also, it has stowed the strongest magic shield, Avalon, on its back to show off its confidence in not needing to use it. Its special move is removing the blades on both of its arms, and throwing them as tomahawks, Grand Grier. In addition, it spins the Kyukyoku Senjuken Dane's Leaf, transformed from its magic spear Claim Solace, at the speed of light, reducing targets within a 3 km radius to ash, Jitninger Waltz. It is said that those who have witnessed this technique are turned today to dust without even realizing that they were attacked. Dukeman is an ultimate level Holy Knight type that has the Virus attribute. It belongs to Metal Empire, Virus Buster and Wind Guardian Field, and is a member of the Royal Knights group. The name comes from Duke, a male holding the highest hereditary title in the British and certain other peerages, Dukeman. This Holy Knight Digimon is called one of the Royal Knights alongside Omegamon and Magnamon. The Royal Knights are Digimon assigned the highest rank of network security, so it is absolutely impossible to violate security in their presence. It is a living contradiction, being a guardian deity of the net despite being a virus attribute, and if by any chance its balance is lost, it is possible for it to become a dangerous being. It is clad in holy armor refined and constructed from 99.9% pure chrome Digizoid, and it wields the Holy Lance Gram in its right hand and a Holy Shield, Aegis, in its left. It honors chivalry, and is a loyal vassal towards its lord. Its special moves are a strong blow dispatched from the Holy Lance Gram, Royal Saber, and firing a beam which purifies everything from the Holy Shield Aegis in its left hand, Final Elision. Dukeman Crimson Mode is an ultimate level Holy Knight type that has the Virus or Vaccine attribute. It belongs to Metal Empire, Virus Buster and Wind Guardian Field, and is an arguable member of the Royal Knights group. The name comes from Duke, a high title of nobility, the male holder of a dukedom, and Crimson, a rich deep red color inclining to purple. Dukeman Crimson Mode. A hidden form of Dukeman whose body is clad in armor that shines crimson. Because it has fully released its power, its armor portions possess the heated item red. For that reason, it is unable to maintain Crimson Mode for a long duration. Within its chest is its Digicur, which sealed the digital hazard, and when it discharges all the power in its body, a pinnate energy emission can be distinguished coming from its back. It wields a Divine Lance of Light, Gunner, and a Divine Sword of Light, Bloodgang, energy weapons that have no physical form. Its special moves are cutting the opponent to pieces with its Divine Sword Bloodgang, Invincible Sword, and disintegrating the opponent into electrons with its Divine Lance Gunner, then consigning them to oblivion within another dimension afar, Quo Vadis. Other form of Dukeman that is still considered as a member of the Royal Knight. Dukeman X. The effect on Dukeman's Digicur due to the X antibody. Carrying out its devotion as a knight, this Dukeman threw itself into the sacred battle and was at last blessed with the supreme sacred armor, sacred lance, and sacred shield. It has sacred hybrid equipment combining red Digizoid, blue Digizoid, and gold Digizoid, which are rare metals, as well as chrome Digizoid, boasting the highest known purity. Since its form was remodeled in order to demonstrate its holy power, the lance of light emitted from its sacred lance Gram was amplified, and it acquired a new special move called Sieg Saber, which lengthens it. In addition, it is said that Dukeman's red mantle from before acquiring the X antibody was given to the hero, Liaman. Magnamon is an armor-level Holy Knight type that has the Vaccine, Freer Nun attribute. It belongs to the Metal Empire and Virus Buster Field, and is a member of the Royal Knights group. The name comes from Magna, meaning great in Latin. Magnamon. An armor-level Holy Knight Digimon that evolved through the power of the Digimental of Miracles. The Digimental of Miracles possesses the attribute of metal, and is made of the Super Metal Chrome Digizoid. It possesses not only tremendous defensive ability, but also offensive power equivalent to that of an Ultimate Digimon or even greater, and it is also a member of the Royal Knights. Those who acquire the power of the Digimental of Miracles are able to overcome any predicament they fall into through that miraculous power, and as such, it is appropriately referred to as a miracle item. His special moves are firing a shot of ball-shaped plasma shoot, and rapidly compressing space, then immediately and explosively expanding it, sweeping away surrounding enemies with a golden laser beam, shining gold solar storm. Other form of Magnamon that is still considered as a member of the Royal Knight. Magnamon X. The effect on Magnamon's Digicur due to the X antibody. Chrome Digizoid grows stronger the more it is tempered, and there exists no other material quite like it. Magnamon's imaginary super metal had become one with its limits, and was able to grow and regress, as if it were made of muscles. The natural form of Chrome Digizoid, in other words, the Digimental of Miracles, was created using ancient technology, and its original characteristic was how it could be integrated into living organisms, a state similar to that, when combined with Magnamon's abilities, is thought to be the manifestation of a miraculous evolution. When Magnamon's muscles, or Chrome Digizoid, are strained, they temporarily transform into Gold Digizoid, which envelops its entire body in a golden glow. Not only does it raise physical defense, it also bestows a state of absolute defense that is capable of resisting even data disintegrating types of attacks. Furthermore, when in the Gold Digizoid state, its properties are similar to those of the Huanglong ore, which boasts unparalleled absolute hardness, and is used as the base for Chrome Digizoid. As such, in addition to absolute defense, it also adds a great amount of weight ill-suited for Digimon, though Magnemon has overcome that by tempering its own Chrome Digizoid. Denazmon is an ultimate level Holy Knight type that has the data attribute. It belongs to the Virus Buster field, and is a member of the Royal Knights group. The name comes from Dynasty, a line of hereditary rulers of a country. Denazmon. One of the Holy Royal Knights, it possesses the powers of the Wyvern. It is a unique being among the Royal Knights, in that it serves the Lord who embodied its own sense of justice with deep unquestioning loyalty. For example, for the sake of its own justice, it won't hate its Lord even if they are called evil. For that reason, it has a strong spirit of chivalry and Bushido, with a character that honors devotion, fidelity, and courtesy. With its tenacious dragon-like power, and dragon armor made from high-purity Chrome Digizoid, it boasts unparalleled strength. Its special moves are firing energy shots from the palms of its hands, with all the attributes of the 10 warriors, Dragon's Roar, and transforming its body's energy into an aura of a gigantic wyvern, Breath of Wyvern. Other form of Denazmon that is still considered as a member of the Royal Knight. Denazmon X. The effect on Denazmon's Digicur due to the X antibody. Although the powers of the Wyvern have been drawn out exceptionally, transforming it into a baleful figure, its dragon armor is mostly composed of the lightest weight rare metal Blue Digizoid. Nevertheless, it is because of the excess tenacious power of the Wyvern that makes the large heavyweight Denazmon reach high altitudes in an instant, with a sweep of its wings. As long as it is for the sake of its lord, it will unleash its Dragon's Gust, in which it thrusts the gigantic horns on its head, soars, and then charges at the enemy with its body, leading it to being the most skillful among the Royal Knights in aerial combat. Lord Knightman is an ultimate level Holy Knight type that has the Virus attribute. It belongs to Virus Buster field, and is a member of the Royal Knights group. The name comes from Lord, a man of noble rank or high office, a nobleman, and Knight, a man who served his sovereign or lord as a mounted soldier in armor. Also, Rhodonite, a brownish or rose-pink mineral consisting of a silicate of manganese and other elements. Lord Knightman. A Holy Knight Digimon which is the monarch which presides over all Knightmen and is one of the Royal Knights. More than morality, Lord Knightman is faithful to what it personally regards as justice, and that end justifies their means. If it will bring about lasting peace, Lord Knightman will find merit there, even with rule by power. In its entirety, it is unparalleled ruthlessness in the execution of its duties, and it shows no compassion for the weak. Its special moves are chopping up the opponent with the 4 sash blades that extend from its armor, Spiral Masquerade, and instantly coming into point-blank range, shooting the opponent in the chest with shock waves from the pile bunker on its right arm, Urgent Fear. Other form of Lord Knightman that is still considered as a member of the Royal Knight. Lord Knightman X. The effect on Lord Knightman's Digicur due to the X antibody. Wielding the Rose's Pile Bunker, a rose shield used for both offense and defense, as well as the Rapier Rose's Fencer, it is a noble figure that acquired even more power as the Lord of Knights. By analyzing the battlefield using the red crystal embedded in its visor, it is now able to consistently lead its army into advantageous situations in battle. The way in which it dominates the battlefield, as if it were performing music, gives off a sense of fear as an absolute being to those around it. Also, its sash blades have been enhanced along with its armor, and it is able to concentrate the power of its Knightman subordinates into the tips of its blades. Its special moves are expanding its sash blades, which have amassed the power of Knightman, and tearing the entire opposing army apart in a dance-like manner, Lord of Fraternity, as well as sealing the enemy's movements with a hurricane of rose petals, generated from the core of its Rose's Pile Bunker, and precisely impaling their Digicur with its Rose's Fencer, Noblesse of Rouge. In addition, its Kyokyoku Sintotsuken Gran Rosario, the strongest pile bunker formed by combining its shield and sword, blows away absolutely everything on the battlefield with a shockwave. Ulfrsidramon is an ultimate level Holy Knight type that has the Vaccine attribute. It belongs to the Nature Spirits, Virus Buster and Wind Guardian field, and is a member of the Royal Knights group. The name derives from Ulfers, a legendary override sequence possessed by Ulfrsidramon, Ultimate, literally Feinler Extreme, and Force, literally Strength or Energy. Subsequently V, is of the initial of Victory, and Draymon, of Dragon. Ulfrsidramon. A Holy Knight Digimon based on a legend that only appears within a certain prophecy, handed down from the ancient digital world. In that prophecy is written the appearance of the Royal Knights, the guardian deities of the network, and based on the prophecy, it is said that the Digimon that are called the Royal Knights will assemble at the time of the digital world's greatest crisis. Ulfrsidramon possesses the swiftest speed among the Royal Knights, and there is no one that can follow its movements. Also, its body is wrapped in holy armor made of the lightest weight rare metal Blue Digizoid, which is rare even among Chrome Digizoid, so it can cleave the sky and split the earth. It can extend weapons and the shield from the V-bracelets, equipped to both of its arms. Its special move is a beam which strafes across from the V-shaped armor on its chest, shining V-Force. Other form of Ulforce V Draymond that is still considered as a member of the Royal Knight. Ulforce V Draymond X. The effect on Ulforce V Draymond's Digicard due to the X antibody. The Ulforce, its own ultimate force, has been drawn out further, even more so than its swift speed. The Ulforce also has remarkable healing abilities, so it instantly self-recovers from any damage. Even if you catch sight of Ulforce V Draymond briefly and attack it, you will immediately suffer a counterattack with 100% of its power. Sleepman is an ultimate level Holy Knight type that has the vaccine attribute. It belongs to Virus Buster Field, and is a member of the Royal Knights group. The name comes from Sleipnir, the mythological Norse eight-legged horse. Sleipman. A Holy Knight Digimon which is one of the digital world's guardians, the Royal Knights. While most of the Royal Knights are human Digimon, it has a bestial silhouette which could be called bizarre. Its whole body is clad in an armor of the Red Digizoid, which boasts great defensive power, so even ultimate Digimon are unlikely to be able to easily damage Sleipman. Its 6 legs possess unsurpassed mobility, and it is capable of instantaneous, high-speed movements that its thick build would not suggest. Sleipman acts as a guardian of the super ancient ruins which sleep below the thick ice of the digital world's North Pole, since it is said that essential program data which concerns the creation of Digimon is sealed within these ruins. Its special moves are incandescent arrows of light fired from the sacred crossbow Muspelsheimer held in its left hand, Bifrost, and using the sacred shield Niflheimr in its right hand, to lower the temperature of its climate and generate a blizzard, Odin's breath. Other form of Sleipman that is still considered as a member of the Royal Knight. Sleipman X. The effect on Sleipman's Digicard due to the X antibody in addition to its 6 legs it had previously, it now possesses 4 arms after transformation, removing any delay between loading and firing, and thus allowing it to shoot continuously, while moving at instantaneous high speed. Its special move is firing light arrows enveloped in hellfire that burn everything to cinders from its Kayukyoku Sendaku Einerjar, fused from the wings on its back, Surturbrander. In addition, its Niflheimr Rest, absolute zero cold air generated by the sacred Niflheimr shields equipped on each pair of its arms, freezes the surface of the ground, and brings all vital functions to a complete halt. Duffman is an ultimate level Holy Knight type that has the data attribute. It belongs to Nature Spirits and Virus Buster Field, and is a member of the Royal Knights group. The name comes from Duft, literally means fragrance in German. Duffman. A Holy Knight Digimon that is acknowledged even by the other Royal Knights as their foremost strategist. It has the invaluable ability to lead the Royal Knights, who each possess a dogma that they believe in. When it goes into personal combat it changes into leopard mode and races across the battlefield. Its special moves are the Shimetsu no Tsurugi, a beam sword which it swings downward in an overhead arc, Osterbin, and the Hakai no Tsurugi, which fires explosive energy, Rincewill. Duffman Leopard Mode is an ultimate level Holy Knight type that has the data attribute. It belongs to Nature Spirits Field, and is a member of the Royal Knights group. The name comes from Duft, literally means fragrance in German, and leopard, a large solitary cat that has a fauna brown coat with black spots. Duffman Leopard Mode. In Leopard Mode, its special moves are causing towering pillars of bedrock to appear from the ground, tossing the opponent, Volkinkrisser, and running across the land and flying through the sky, tearing the opponent apart from every angle, Blockade. Also, the spherical tip of Duffman's tail generates globe-shaped energy mines that become its weapon Arabri, which it strategically encircles the opponent with. Other form of Duffman that is still considered as a member of the Royal Knight. Duffman X. The effect on Duffman's Digicard due to the X antibody. The chrome Digizoid armor covering its body has converted into the highly elastic brown Digizoid, enhancing Duffman's flexible movement tremendously. Even if it suffers attacks from all directions simultaneously, it will dodge all of them by means of its outstanding Taijutsu, Brawn Nebel. Also, because its Iron Billion, ultra-high-speed Tatatsu unleashed using its Brawn Nebel, stabs 1 trillion times per second, opponents who suffer this are exterminated in an instant. Examon is an ultimate level Holy Knight type that has the data attribute. It belongs to the Dragon's Roar and Virus Buster Field, and is a member of the Royal Knights group. The name comes from Ixa, the combining form used in the names of units of measure, equal to 1 quintillion of the given base unit. Examon. A Holy Knight Digimon which is one of the digital world's sacred guardians, the Royal Knights. As it is a Digimon which possesses an extraordinary data size, traditional digital tools were unable to completely render it, and its existence was discovered because it finally became possible to render it with the use of state-of-the-art digital tools. Though it belongs to the Royal Knights, it is simultaneously a being which stands at the top of all Dragon Digimon, and holds the alias of Dragon Emperor. It possesses the gigantic sentient wings Kalitfuch and the gigantic lance Ambrosius. The Caliph, which is a unique set of wings composed entirely of Chrome Digizoid, and a Caliph which's own will, it can at times change into wings for flight, or into a shield which defends X-Men. The Lance Ambrosius is loaded with special shells stocked with viruses which possess various effects, so X-Men's attacks are quite diverse. Its special moves are stabbing the opponent with the Ambrosius and exploding all of its special shells, annihilating them from within, Avalon's Gate, and rocketing up to the Exosphere, and conducting a high-powered laser firing, Pendragon's Glory. Also, its Dragonic Impact, in which it dives from the Exosphere and performs a ramming attack shrouded in heat from friction with the atmosphere, mops up swaths of enemies with its accompanying shockwave. Other form of X-Men that is still considered as a member of the Royal Knight. X-Men X. The effect on X-Men's Digiker due to the X antibody. Its Holy Knight type data has been drawn out, so it appears like a knight wearing a helmet and armor. It overflows with Dragon type and Holy Knight type power which swirls, creating Dragonic Plasma. 12 Reichenbuhr Ergaha appear from the lightning strikes from its Dragonic Plasma, which it fires at the enemy. Its high-energy emitting Kyokuku Sinusu Ambrosius possesses sentience, and the amount of energy it releases varies, depending on how strong the opponent is. No enemy can withstand its special move Pendragon Sparkle, in which it impales them with its fully unleashed Kyokuku Sinusu Ambrosius, and looses large thunderbolts from its Dragonic Plasma. Genkaman is an ultimate level Holy Knight type that has the data attribute. It belongs to the Virus Buster field, and is a member of the Royal Knights group. The name comes from Gankyu, literally means a stubborn person in Japanese. Genkaman. A Digimon who acceded to the Royal Knights because it is a Holy Knight Digimon. Although it is said to have taken up residence in the southwestern edges of the digital world, it rarely stays in the same place, so it journeys across the digital world while going around and putting a stop to unusual phenomena and signs of chaos, taking along the next generation Huckman as its companion. Unlike the other Royal Knights who rarely show their faces, it actually steps down and acts, and there are many Digimon it counts as bosom friends. In order to pass on its own title as a Royal Knight to Huckman, it assigns it rigorous trials, and entrusts Hackman's training to the sister and sisters on the way. Due to his stubborn personality, its dealing with Huckman in a severe manner is a cruel sort of kindness of wanting it to keep up with the other Royal Knights and become independent. Hinukamai, who is emerging from its body, is always there for Genkaman, and although no words escape its lips, it gets involved without wasting its breath arguing. His special moves are striking with all his strength at anyone and everyone who talks back to it, Tekken Sai, and Hinukamai releasing heaven's punishment at Genkaman's harsh words, Jishin, Kaminari, Kaji, Oyaji. Furthermore, its Chabudai Geshi flips the ground as if it was a Chabudai made of Chrome Digizoid, and the ground being treated like a Chabudai becomes as hard as if it was made of Chrome Digizoid. Hinukamai is itself in the process of evolving from an adult, and it is said that when its power awakens, there couldn't exist any kind of Digimon to be recognized as a rival. Other form of Genkaman that is still considered as a member of the Royal Knight. Genkaman X. The effect on Genkaman's Digiker due to the X antibody. By assimilating Hinukamai into itself, it is manifested on Genkaman's back along with the character's Genkumi. Should it fully unleash a surging aura, then that aura will transform into something resembling wings, exhibiting Genkaman's power at its maximum. The Tetsu Jetta it wears has become an offensive and defensive weapon that it holds in its hand, and deals heavy blows in its signature move Tetsu Jetta Herald. In addition, its final secret technique Kyokuku Sengi Tinjiaoken is a flawless pulverizing uppercut that condenses all of its energy in its right hand, ignoring all defenses. Jesmon is an ultimate level Holy Knight type that has the data attribute. It belongs to the Virus Buster field, and is a member of the Royal Knights group. The name comes from the acronym of its title, Justice Edge Swordsman, also these initials, with J being the 10th alphabet, E being the 5th alphabet, and S being the first romanization alphabet of Shunin, anniversary in Japanese, alluding to the fact that Jesmon being heavily tied into the Digimon 15th anniversary. Jesmon. The crystal in Savior Huckman's chest began to shine as it surpassed perfect to reach its ultimate form. A Holy Knight Digimon that acquired the title of a Royal Knight, the highest rank of network security. It is endowed with the ability to sense the unusual phenomena and signs of chaos that occur all over the digital world, and is the first of any of the Royal Knights to come running. Rather than act independently, it tends to employ teamwork such as making a coordinated response with nearby Digimon and the Sistermons, which is rare for a Royal Knight. It does so due to its trust in others, and so that it will not become overconfident in its abilities. By observing and learning from the Hinukamai of its mentor Genkaman, Jesmon also acquired the trio Atho, Renee, and Por, as part of its ascetic training. They are able to move and act independently under Jesmon's instructions, and boast formidable behavioral abilities, such as landing direct attacks on the enemy, the protection of Jesmon, and the rescue of other Digimon. His special moves are slicing the enemy to pieces with the blades on its arms, while moving at high speed, Tekken Sibai, and an omnidirectional counter technique alongside a Tho, Rene, and Por that meets every enemy attack with their 9 blades, Schwarches. Its OS generics enables it to temporarily rewrite its own data and perform actions that transcend the laws of nature, leaving its physical abilities unbound by the laws of the digital world, and thus allowing Jessamine to overpower any enemy, without taking a single scrap. Other form of Jessamine that is still considered as a member of the Royal Knight. Jessamine X. The effect on Jessamine's Digicure due to the X antibody. The X antibody has transformed it into a form further specializing in offense, and turned the armor covering its body into blades. The multiple blades it has newly equipped are all capable of independent movement, giving Jessamine the attack power to one-sidedly overwhelm the opponent in single combat. Not only that, its 3 programs of Tho, Rene, and Por have all awakened and unified as the single tactical arms, giving rise to a new battle style that is aimed at all directions, not leaving a single spot untouched. Its special moves are shooting out its tactical arms, humbling the opponent with an iron fist that would make Gankemin proud, Tekken Dansai, and firing off the swords all over its body at the opponent, unleashing a combo attack with the greatswords on both of its arms, Schwertflügel. Furthermore, the Kyukyoku Senjin Sebaken it pulls out from the Digicure in its chest is a non-lethal trump card, destroying only the fighting spirit of any opponent it cuts, leaving them unable to battle. Jessamine GX is an ultimate level Holy Knight type that has the data attribute. It belongs to the Virus Buster field, and is a member of the Royal Knights group. The name comes from the acronym of its title, Justice Edge Swordsman, whereas the G is from Gankemin X, and the X is from X antibody. Jessamine GX. The final form of Jessamine, who went through harsh training with Gankemin, and awakened its true power by fully mastering it. Its form, in which its whole body is brimming with fighting spirit and sense of justice, is clad in the red color of blazing flames. The Unlimited Gauntlet, which is now its main weapon, is a piece of equipment used for both offense and defense, that switches between its respective sword, knuckle, and shield modes, depending on the situation. The tactical arms has turned into a wing-shaped energy construct by evolving further, and its flight capability has also increased rapidly. In its armed state, it unleashes a subliminal combo attack that succeeds Gankemin's secret technique, Seeker Mepe. Its final secret technique is Jessamine GX itself becoming the vessel for its Knight's Intruder, the 14th ultimate battle blade that should not exist, by concentrating the energy of the Royal Knights, turning into an offensive judgment sword that instantly erases the opponent, no matter how strong they are. Imperialderman Paladin mode is an ultimate level Holy Knight type that has the Vaccina free attribute. It belongs to the Metal Empire and Virus Buster field, and is the founder of the Royal Knights group. The name comes from Imperial, being relating to an empire, Draymond, of Dragon, and Paladin, a holy knight, crusading in the name of good and order, and is a divine spellcaster. Imperialderman Paladin mode. A form of the ancient Dragon Warrior Digimon, Imperialderman Fighter mode that acquired the power of the Holy Knight Omegamon, powering up and changing form into a legendary Holy Knight, Paladin mode. As the final, strongest form of Imperialderman that was told of since ancient times, it descended in a time of great disruption in the ancient digital world, and rescued the world from complete collapse. However, all of the details of that era are a mystery, and if research into Digimon and the digital world progresses, it is likely that they will eventually be clarified. This special move is cutting the opponent in two with a single stroke of its ultimate Omega Blade sword, resetting and clearing their configuration data. Yggdrasil, also referred to as God of the Digital World, is the mysterious host computer that rules over the digital world on one of the servers on the network, as well as being the name of the system that manages the digital world. Yggdrasil's design, showcased in Digital Monster X Evolution, is a pristine crystalline sphere on a similarly formed plinth. The server tree's design is derived from the mythological Yggdrasil, an immeasurably large tree which supported the various worlds in Norse mythology. Although it resembles a mundane tree, the ivy growing over it are optical cables, its wooden trunk is inlaid with circuitry, and it contains chambers for the Royal Knights to gather. Several of Yggdrasil's crystals act as a security system, and possess the ability to fire beams of energy or absorb and reflect attacks. Yggdrasil 7D6's design is that of formless crystalline being, with countless ivy-like vines growing from it as on the server tree. There exists an inner form of Yggdrasil which resides inside Yggdrasil 7D6, known as Yggdrasil Core, a humanoid form in the appearance of a crystalline figure. The name of its main avatar, Yggdrasil 7D6, is derived from the hexadecimal representation of 2006, the year of its debut. Its alias as the Wiz 9000 computer and its 9000 type are derived from Wiz Company Limited, who developed the Tamagotchi and Digimon Virtual Pad with Bandai. The server tree's name is derived from its status as the Digital World server. Originally, Yggdrasil was a generic name for the system that was operating on the supercomputer where the NetOcean was discovered, and later, as a self-defense instinct to eliminate bugs, it began to function without making any judgment between good and evil. According to one hypothesis, it sent Neo to be the basis, Adam, for next-generation Digimon. It is said that it placed Belphamon's data in a sleep state due to the immense power it possesses, although the truth of the matter is uncertain. It has created an avatar in the form of Yggdrasil 76. Its primary form is that of the Server Tree, an enormous sacred tree. Bagramon replaced its lost eyes and right half of its body, taken from it by God, with wood cut from the sacred tree. Shakamon is rumored to be the being closest to Yggdrasil in the digital world. Yggdrasil gathered the royal knights in order to manage the world, and even modified the code of Craniumon's armor, changing it into Black Digital. It seems that its will eventually lead the royal knights to cross servers to digital world. Iliad and meet the Olympos 12 face to face.